Imagine for the service of the motherland, you are to endure massive trauma and suffering, like your nails being pulled out from your fingers, you being beaten up to a pulp just for the entertainment of your Pakistani guards and captors, you being forced to sleep in the cold stone slabs of Rawalpindi prison jail at 5 degrees centigrade, being woken up and tortured with the help of burning cigarette stubs all over your body, your knees being broken, your collarbone being broken, your lungs being damaged from extensive beating, which happened just for the entertainment of the guards. What would you do? Today I'm going to talk to you about Air Vice Marshal Aditya Vikram Pethia, VRC, for his services in the 1971 war on the Western Front. Aditya Vikram Pethia was commissioned in the Indian Air Force in 1964 after completing the 87 pilots course. He was commissioned in the 221 Squadron of the Indian Air Force as pilot officer. Later, he became a flying instructor after completing his flying instructor's course from Bidar. Later, he became a flying instructor in 1970, and by that time, he was also a flight lieutenant. In the year 1971, he was serving as a flight lieutenant in the 31 Squadron of the Indian Air Force. This squadron was armed with the Mystery 4 fighter aircrafts. When war broke out with Pakistan on the 3rd of December 1971, the Pakistani Air Force commenced massive airstrikes on the Indian Air Force bases all over on the Western Front. On the first flight of the 4th of December, the Indian Air Force started commencing retaliatory airstrikes against the Pakistani Air Force, and on the 5th of December, Flight Lieutenant Pethia was tasked for a recon and strike mission over Christian Mandi area in Pakistan. Flying off in his Mystery 4 aircraft, he entered Pakistan, and while he was closing in towards target, he noticed a Pakistani train carrying about 15 tanks heading for the front line. It was near Havel Nagar, and spotting this, he immediately decided to go for the attack. He made 2 passes, destroying 2 Pakistani tanks in the process, and nearby anti-aircraft gun opened fire on him. Yet, he decided to come in for the 3rd attack, and while coming down, Pakistani anti-aircraft gunfire hit his Mystery 4 aircraft. Being hit, he fortunately had managed to eject from the aircraft while the aircraft had crashed. But this is where his trouble started. He was captured by the Pakistani ground forces, and after this, he was taken to Rawalpindi jail. Here began his saga of trauma and torture that completely violates the Geneva Conventions. According to the Geneva Conventions, a captive prisoner of war can never be treated like how Flight Lieutenant Pethia was treated by the enemy. He was beaten up just for fun. Then he was interrogated. After his brutal interrogation, he was tortured again. He was meant to lay down on the cold stone floor of the Rawalpindi jail without any toilets and without any clothes. Yes, this was the harassment of an Indian pilot, a prisoner of war. After this, his nails were pulled out with the help of pliers. His bones were broken. His knee was broken. His collarbone was broken. His lungs were damaged from severe beating. He was often woken up by his guards with the help of burning cigarette stubs. He was locked up in captivity even after the war had ended. His condition was so terrible from the extreme torture that Pakistan was forced to repatriate him after 5 long months and 3 days. Coming back, he underwent medical treatment, and doctors advised him to not go for flying again. But this man was relentless in proving his love for the skies and for the Indian Air Force. He decided to join his service, and for his extraordinary trauma, suffering, and gallantry in combat, he was awarded the Veer Chakra. He was promoted as squadron leader, and he was posted as flying instructor at the elementary flying school at Bidar. He had also trained Iraqi pilots. He had commanded the air defense flight, the 8 care and maintenance unit, and he had also served in the basic flying training school, and he had also served as the joint director of flying training. He was also the director training at the air headquarters in Delhi when he had become the Air Vice Marshal in 1997. It can be seen that this man had given his entire life to the dedication of the development of the Indian Air Force and to flying and training of new recruits and pilots. I wish thanks and luck to such a man for such an exceptional career in the Indian Air Force. And if you like watching videos related to the 1971 war, then please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.